Now the movie Avatar, it's a wonderful story. I advise all Christians not to go see it because it will destroy the stupidity of Christianity and the stupidity of the Muslim world as well. Basically it's a story that I've been trying to tell you for the last 20 or so years, is that the mother is the earth, and all living things have a soul, whether it be a tree or a plankton. It's driven by the life force that comes from the mother that was granted to, in the creation process, to the earth itself. And now if we look at the DNA that's in all things, it ceases to function immediately when the soul of that life form leaves. It goes to the other realm, so to speak. And then you reincarnate. Everyone reincarnates. The soul is, of course, immortal. That's what keeps life going. Creatures that die out, that's because the soul is no longer part of the equation. So don't worry about creatures dying off the planet. There's more being replenished all the time. And it's part of the natural function of the earth to keep in check the life forces of animals, to maintain the earth. And the earth will look after you, providing you look after it. So the scene is set at the 30th of May, in the year 2154, and you'll find that the Julian day and the date and lunations have all got something to do with the divine inspiration in this movie. For example, the date at midnight on the 11th of May 2154 is lunation 2861, and that of course is the male, the father, the espousal that is found in the displacement factor of the Great Pyramid, which is intrinsic to the pyramid itself, in the base that has been reduced to from 36524.24 by 286.1, and both numbers reveal the espousal word in Hebrew, and the espousal male is the 2861 number. So I've put together quite a bit of information, and it, as usual, has to jump around quite a bit. But if you watch through it and the key points that you want to remember or recall, write down the number in time that is on the video, and you can go back to it. I have been advised by a lot of people that watch my videos that this, when they want to study something, a lot of it they already know, because I've got 350 or so videos up there now. But for the newcomer that hasn't the patience or the time or the common sense to watch all my videos, it is best to talk to others. And the date that's coming up shortly will be the fulfillment of the base measure prophecy. And what happens is this: the pyramid was laid out 36524.24 inches, which is 100 years when one pyramid inch equals a day, reduced by 286.1. So therefore that gives you two dates of time, because you have two diagonals. The diagonal of the Great Pyramid in feet, meaning modern time, there's two types of feet. There's the pyramid foot, and then there's the modern foot. So when it's referred to as a pyramid foot, it is ancient. When it's British feet, it's modern. The difference in size is 1.00106 inches, British, equaling one pyramid inch. The pyramid inch itself is determined by dividing the Earth by 500 million, when it was the original size of 25 million. I'm just getting interrupted there. 25,000 miles around. The 25 number in years is the width of the pyramid in its fullness. Now, what I'm getting at here is the date is determined by the diameter or the distance across, which you can calculate by using the square root formulas, of each side being 25 years or 9131.06. Now, what you do is you take the 9131.06 times itself, times 2, divide by square root or square root of it, and that'll give you the diagonal, divide by 12, multiply by 1.06, that's a bit complex, and that gives you the distance in feet, which is the lunation in modern time. Okay. Simplify. 1077.26 feet of the completed pyramid gives you lunation 1077.26 of a lunation, which is January the 23rd in the year 2010, which is very, very shortly. At that point in time, what it means is that the pyramid itself, where the capstone was going to fit, is original. It's too big, so it's rejected. And I refer to it, the Bible verses, in the all of my videos, but in this latest one, in this latest series, I'll refer to it. It goes off in several directions. It can become quite monotonous, but it has to be for someone who isn't familiar with what I'm talking about. So if the base of the pyramid is shrunk by 286.1, the full-size capstone can't fit. So it's the capstone the builders rejected, Matthew 21:42. Also, if you look up the centre of the Bible, Psalms 118:22 region, it is also talking about the rejected capstone. So the building of the structure was built by men that lived very long lives and were connected to God, myself, via their soul, and they had within them the intrinsic information, which is automatic. As time goes on, people fall away because of the reincarnation and repeatedly coming back to the earth. And time is subject to the satanic effect, which is men's inability to keep righteous and seek their own religions and dominate through the Muslim faith, for example, which is a complete and utter make of the Old Testament by Jews who were the scribes that wrote it in the first place, under the direction of the Muslims that didn't have the written word, so they employed scribes which were all Jewish, and they wrote the Quran for them and wrote in mistakes. And of course the Muslims didn't realise that as I was forming the Quran, that it was filled with codes saying to other Jews, scribes, look what these idiots are doing, we're going to control it. And that's what the Muslim faith is today. It's quite idiotic and childish. So with Christianity is equally stupid, because it has been dominated by the Pharisees out of Babylon. And the great whore today in modern times is the United States. And now we see that Interpol has gone in there with 8 plane loads of policemen and lawyers and so forth to arrest the perpetuators of the criminal acts of currency fraud in America in a wartime situation, because they created the war with 9/11. 9/11, by the way, it was 30 years to the day that the building was commenced, and 60 years to the day that the Pentagon spade turning ceremony was commenced. So the whole thing is a complete abomination. So by creating this war on terror, what these financial gangsters have done, by influencing the government and the Pentagon to do their war efforts so they can make money out of making weapons and selling them.